I'm Christian Palafox. I play mid lane for NRG. I kind of think that our team is probably going to have a little bit of a slow start. The offseason was felt pretty short for a lot of us, and I know personally myself, like I wasn't playing until like really late, like December 30th, like pretty much just January. So I think I just need to get more reps in. I think that we as a team need to get more reps in together. Um, and right now we just need to find our synergy back because I think right now it's like we're just a little bit desynced and out of touch with each other. Right now I think that you can kind of pick Corki and Azir as long as you're willing to be counterpicked. Um, no matter what, they can scale well into the game as long as your team's like playing well. And I don't think you should really ever be dying on those champions, but you should be losing pressure for your team. So if you can draft something that covers their weaknesses, then those champions are going to be like Azir and Corki are always going to be perfectly fine. Um, the reason why I like, in this matchup, I like the Taliyah side, right? I obviously picked it because I feel like I can usually just, like, roam and, like, play with my team a bit more, but I don't think that was really the case. I think that we kinda made a bit of mistakes in draft, and also didn't really, like, play together, so we never actually could abuse my timings. I think that it makes well, because Baron's tankier, it makes champions like Azir always be really strong. Like, there are certain mid lane champions that can't actually kill Nash anymore. So you need a bigger lead, but Azir can always just do it. Um, I think like the Void Grubs is an interesting change. And I actually think you can see this like across LEC, LPL, NA. I don't think players know what the right objective is to take. So everyone's really confused on like what objectives like you actually want to go for and what's like the right play. Um, C9 took the Void Grubs, we took the Dragon. Maybe the Void Grubs were more useful. So I think Hwei is really interesting because like it's it is actually super strong when it's good, right? But there's like how do you put it? There's so many like barriers for it to be strong that like I can't see it being like a first pick or like that proud in NA for a bit. Unless people just want to have some fun, you know? Maybe I'll pick it. Like all of us in C9 were just typing back together and JoJo was like, throw the hand warmer across the stage. We asked the ref and he said no. So we're just joking around, you know. I kind of don't know too much, but I did hear like Red Side has a pretty high win rate. I think it kind of has to do with the fact that um when people don't know what the meta is and people don't know what first picks they're supposed to pick, then you're just gonna see like counter picks getting a lot more value. And I think we're kind of just seeing that right now. I think it'll probably balance out a bit more where it's like red side is equal to blue side a little bit later. I think that right now we're probably gonna get I think the changes that Huhi brings is like a type of stability and team play that we didn't really have before. All of us as players had like an idea of what to do, and then we like played like a loose game plan around that. So pretty much so what that means is like I think who he thinks of like the best play to do and like kind of tells us like that's the macro plan. I think before we were always like doing semi suboptimal plays because they're more unexpected. And people always train for like the best thing to do, right? But they don't actually train for like what do you do if your lane opponent's being a maniac? I'm like trying to learn like both styles because there's a value to both, you know? And I think overall it's gonna make us all like stronger players. So I think in scrims, actually, you know what's sad is we only lost to Weibo. We didn't lose to any other team. Um in scrims, Xiaohu was like the hardest mid laner to face. And a lot of that was like I think he was egoing a lot at first, and I actually learned a lot from playing against Xiaohu. Uh, actually, the TL game I had against or the game I had against TL was mostly like I played the matchup against Xiaohu, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just play it the same way he does." Um, so I learned a lot on that aspect. I think that LPL's playstyle is also like heavily like mid just supports the team a lot and does as much damage as they can, and they just like explode and die. I think in the series that we played against Weibo, Xiaohu was just picking Nico, and then like it didn't really matter how much impact he had as long as he like CC'd people for his teammates, right? I think that's like one style that I really, really like. I think that LPL mid laners need to have like a little bit more of a balance towards like LCK mid laners. And I think like right now Faker kind of has that where he plays like an LPL mid laner, but he still has that like I guess greediness of an LCK to some extent, right? So I do like the LPL style a lot more than LCK, but I want to find like a little bit of a middle ground. I'm just excited to see how JDG does. Honestly, I yeah, I mean that team is always just like it's always just amazing to see what they do because you're like you see the plays that they make and you're like, damn, like could you do that? You know, as a team. And it's just great to see how connected they always are. Well, I would hope people know who I am, but I'm sure I'd still get some wacky answers, but for sure I'd get noticed a lot more. I think in that video I got called like two different or three different players. It was pretty funny. Um, yeah, I'm sure after the world's run, things will be a bit different though. So my goal for myself as a player, and I hope that this carries over to like winning games, is to I was having some arm issues during Worlds, but I kind of just played through it. And what I noticed is that when I play like a lazy form of League, when I'm not playing like mechanically, I don't actually have too much pain. But when I have to like when I was playing against like Xiaohu, I was playing against Knight, and I had to like play it a lot more focused and like more tense, I guess. Um, I was playing a lot better, but it did like cause me to have like wrist issues, right? So I think it's just managing those and being able to play well at the same time is like my goal as a player. Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for the support. Anyone who rated us highly, I think that you might be a little bit disappointed in the beginning, but I know 100% that we will ramp. And honestly, I think that if we were off to like obviously we had a bad start, right? But if we end up like picking it up earlier, then I think that we're gonna have like a really, really good season. So thank you guys for supporting us.